real life, and that is to guarantee that the water droplets reflect enough light to show up on camera, as sometimes they become invisible. But speaking of lots of water, ladies and gentlemen, does anyone else hear that? I think we might be in for that flash flood.
Yeah, why you get scared?
And you may recognize that flash flood from Lady Gaga's music video Judas, or even the 2002 family film Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti.
You cannot run a wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that.
Our set pieces for Old Mexico have also been used in television series like HBO's Westworld, as well as Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, starring Gary Sinise. And speaking of going beyond borders, we are now crossing one of our own from Old Mexico into 6 Points, Texas. These are our Western sets. And it's named 6 Points because traditionally there have always been 6 separate streets here that have been Western themed. Now, some of the most famous cowboys in film and television history have moseyed up and down this road. You can see a few examples on your screens. But most recently, the street was used by Quentin Tarantino for his 9th feature film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie. But here to tell us a little bit more about the street's history on our screens is one of my favorite cowboys. If you take a close look, I'm sure you'll recognize him as well.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I heard this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Oh, you can count on me, Fallon. Then get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
This street was also used in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, as well as The Color Purple, directed by Steven Spielberg. It was in the music video, These Boots Were Made for Walking, by Jessica Simpson, and it was even an old-fashioned Australia in the Disney film Saving Mr. Banks, starring Tom Hanks, Emma Thompson, and Colin Farrell. 6 Points, Texas also marks the approximate halfway point of the tour today, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to remind everyone to please continue to remain seated at all times with your arms and legs inside the vehicle. But if you do need assistance of any kind before the completion of the tour, make sure to stay on board, reach up, grab that red cord, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe for me to do so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments we are actually going to be going inside the soundstage number 50, to take a look at an interior set piece. But as we turn this corner, if you keep looking at the left-hand side, you will see a group of set pieces that are known as Little Europe. And as the name suggests, these are most often used as European locations if we're not traveling there in real life, though at the moment it's actually being used for exterior scenes of The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. You can see the street in action in this trailer for the series on your screens.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
And to the left-hand side of car 1, behind these grey trailers, is the set for Home and Family, a talk show on the Hallmark Channel hosted by Debbie Matenopoulos and Cameron Matheson.
Hey, Universal Studios fans, I'm Cameron Matheson.
And I'm Debbie Matenopoulos from the Emmy-nominated television show Home and Family.
Join us as we go behind the scenes with your favorite actors, musicians, and celebrity chefs.
Plus, Plus, amazing DIY, fun fashions, and so much more.
But inside Soundstage 50, the set has been constructed to look like a San Francisco subway station. We actually used this exact set in this episode of Bones on your screens.
Very upset. When I talk to him, I got in his office. You guys are the FBI?
Yeah, we hear about the,
Oh, shoot, Dad.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, just a slight tribute to movie experience that from time to time here in London.
Oh, Dad.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Keep hold of your personal belongings. This could be the big one. Oh, to the left-hand side, cars 2 and 3, the tourists coming down. Watch out for that truck.
Look, Dad. Oh, shoot, Dad.
Okay, I think it's over, but at least we didn't get wet. Oop, spoke too soon. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, you have survived the earthquake of Big Mouth. The 8.3 on the Lickner scale. And that is just a number of the studio tour. We also realize those effects in film and television, including in Beverly Hills Cop 3, starring Eddie Murphy, and even that very same episode of Bones we were watching on our
Daddy,
screens.
don't be scared,
Those
Dad.
practical effects with computer-generated imagery to create this train crash sequence.
Dad, you better stop.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we managed to escape the danger of an earthquake, I'm afraid we're not quite out of the woods just yet. You see, our next location is the beachside town of Amity Island, and I'm sorry to say they've been experiencing a few shark sightings here. So now more than ever, it is vital that you remain seated at all times. Please do not stand up at any point, even if the tram stops moving. And also, as an extra security precaution, we do have a police boat in the water and a police diver going around making sure the water is clear of anything suspicious, like that large gray fin that is swimming around. That is not good. Now, hopefully, we'll be safe and sound up here on the tram, on the pier, but I don't think I can say the same for that police diver next to the boat. He appears to be in a little bit of trouble. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'll give him this much. He has a lot of guts to be out there every day. Oh, yep, and there they are. Okay, we're going to move a little bit further ahead where it's more safe behind this pier covered in red barrels marked, flammable gasoline. But there is also a yellow barrel floating in the water that is filled up with shark bait. So I'm sure the shark will just grab a hold of that, drag it away, and leave us alone. And, it's taking half the pier with it. Wait, has that gas pump come loose? That is not good. Well, I think we're going to need a bigger tram. My old Australian friend, the Great White Shark. That, of course, was a recreation of the mechanical shark utilized in Steven Spielberg's 1975 classic thriller, Jaws. Now, on the set of Jaws, Steven Spielberg did name the shark. He actually named it Bruce after his lawyer at the time of filming. And if you've seen Disney's Finding Nemo, you may recall there is another great white shark named Bruce. They actually named their animated shark after the mechanical one used on the set of Jaws. And while ours worked quite well today, unfortunately the same cannot be said for the one on set. It actually malfunctioned so frequently that filming was delayed for more than 100 days. And here is the cast and crew of Jaws, including Steven Spielberg, to tell us a little bit more.
That's cool.
And as we depart Amity Island to our right-hand side, this White House is known as the Universal Chicken Ranch. It actually operates like a giant doll's house. It can open up down the center to provide flexibility when filming indoor scenes. Here are a few examples of how we've used it on your screens. Just across the street to our left-hand side is the edge of Colonial Street. At the moment, it is being used for promotional footage of the Universal film Good Boys. It's also being used in Fox's AP Bio, as well as Abby, starring Natalie Morales on NBC. But its most famous appearance is probably as Wisteria Lane on ABC's Desperate Housewives. But here on our screens are a few more examples of filming that has taken place down Colonial. Colonial Street gets used so frequently because it is very realistic looking, but sometimes we need the exact opposite. We need something whimsical and out of this world, and a great example of a set like that is the town of Whoville from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey, directed by Ron Howard. These three homes from Whoville were utilized in the scene where Martha May and Betty Lou Who are decorating their homes with Christmas lights. And here's Ron Howard on our screens to tell us a little bit more about the creation of Whoville.
One of the biggest creative challenges that we faced on How the Grinch Stole Christmas was to bring the storybook world of Dr. Seuss to life. Some of the most talented artists in Hollywood worked for months to create a living, breathing Whoville. When it was all done, they had built their entire city. And the fantasy world of Dr. Seuss became a reality.
The entirety of Whoville was actually constructed using over 2.5 million linear feet of styrofoam, as well as 9 football fields worth of fake snow. And while the Grinch was a pretty nasty neighbor to the Who's of Whoville, I am sorry to say their luck has gotten no better. Their new neighbors are Norma and Norman Bates, who are the managers of the Bates Motel here, and they live in that rather creepy-looking house up at the top of the hill. Now, these two set pieces are two of the oldest and most famous in all of Hollywood, and, it looks like Norman is helping a guest out at the moment. Try to not disturb him. He appears disturbed enough as it is. Hi, Norman. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we should probably check out of the Bates Motel. We are required to stay the speed limit, though, so it's best to just keep an eye out. That, of course, was Norman Bates, originally portrayed by Anthony Perkins in Alfred Hitchcock's classic 1960 thriller, Psycho.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Now, just around the corner from the Psycho House is the plane crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. This is a highly realistic set piece, as it is a real retired aircraft that was broken into several pieces specifically for the film. Here to tell us a little bit more about it is the film's director, Steven Spielberg, alongside the film's production designer, Rick Tarter.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had. He's like, sit down and talk about Florida. What if it's because it's just something you don't see. You're doing good. You're doing good. Listen, man. Listen, close your eyes, okay? Stand close. Robbie, get in. Get in.
And as we depart the set for War of the Worlds, I'll let you know we're approximately 10 minutes away from the completion of the tour, so not long to go before we'll be back in the theme park. But once again, if you urgently need my assistance before that time, just reach up, grab that red cord, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as I can. Otherwise, please remain seated at all times. Now, as we turn this next corner to your right-hand side, you can see an area named Falls Lake. It is home to the largest freestanding blue or green screen in the entire world. And this cabin out the front, you might recognize from the John Candy comedy film, The Great Outdoors. But generally, this is where we film scenes that take place on the surface of water, like this scene on your screens from the film Sully, starring Tom Hanks as a pilot who has to make an emergency landing into the Hudson River. The Hudson River here was brought to life by filling up that concrete zone in front of the screen with water, dyeing it to look like the Hudson, placing a life-size model aircraft on top with actors inside as the passengers, and then digitally inserting the New York City skyline. So everything in this scene, except for the aircraft, the passengers, and a small amount of water, is completely CGI. Now, while we most frequently use computer-generated imagery on that back wall, sometimes the entire thing is painted. That was the case at the end of The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey. This is where they filmed the sequence where Truman is sailing a boat and he runs into a wall that is painted to look like the sky. And okay, it looks like we're going a little bit off course inside Sullivan Truck Repair. Now, it shouldn't be a problem, but I am just going to double check with our security team to make sure everything's okay. Hello, Agent Novak, we are going inside Sullivan's.
Look, this might be more serious than I thought.
Oh.
What just happened?
Looks like we don't have reception in here. Hello?
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge. The hell you are? Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness on the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. Buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. We brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over, it's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row, like I was saying. Good. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there is made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels. Action.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, Pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the next bay there is an after party taking place for a street race that Roman and Letty won earlier during the day. Now, you don't need to wear your 3D glasses just yet. Not to worry, I will let you know the moment you should go ahead and put them on. And also make sure to do as Letty said, please refrain from using any flash photography. But other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the after party.
FBI, don't move. Neil, that's right, party's over. You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not... You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss.
Got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate.
Sure, trace this. Hobbs can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the team. It sounds like Owen Shaw has managed to track down this tram. So it's time for us to go undercover. Go ahead and put on those 3D glasses. And also, ladies and gentlemen, for your safety, make sure you remain seated at all times with your arms and legs inside the vehicle. And keep a hold of your personal belongings so nothing falls off the side. I have a feeling things are about to get fast and furious. So once again, make sure you are wearing those 3D glasses and keep an eye out for Owen Shaw and any of his criminal associates. They could show up just about anywhere.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime! Come to the left! This thing ain't moving fast enough! Roman, Letty, hook him up! Now we're moving!
You give me the witness to run off and call it a day! The witness is mine, Letty!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Come into
Way to go, Letty! Not gonna happen! Don't worry, I got this!
under construction!
Ride or die!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fast and the Furious Supercharged.
was cool, huh, Dad? Roman. Roman, that was cool?
Now, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it. They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys look good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Fast and the Furious Supercharged does act as the finale of the tour today, so we are going to head back to the loading bay. But before we reach the theme park, there are a couple of people I'd like to thank. First and foremost, let's give a big round of applause to our wonderful driver, Kelsey. Thank you, Kelsey. Also, a big thank you to our co-host, Jimmy Fallon. You can always catch him on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. And a big thanks to all of you for choosing to climb aboard the Universal Studio Tour to take a look behind the scenes at NBC Universal. If you want more information about the theme park, be sure to download the Universal Studios Hollywood app for your smartphone. It'll give you up-to-the-minute wait times for all of the rides here, an interactive map to help you navigate, and also give you a list of